The bank is focusing strongly on enterprise banking, and this is where the dial will be shifted. So for me, I think the bigger burden that I carry for this bank is, if the shift has to happen from enterprise banking, I need to make the ship change faster so that we get going.
I think they need to take care of the farmer within this region, because banks in different regions have different interests. Take care of the farmer and the woman in small enterprise businesses. That's what I would tell them.
One of the things that I've been trying to basically ask the bank, first, can you start looking at contracts as collaterals? Then secondly, can you look at what you call collaborative advantage, especially in the SME sector, and collateralize that and be able to tap into that particular sector?
If you can work collaboratively with the fintechs, they provide the touch point to the customer, but the customer is actually owned by you. And by working closely with the fintech, you can actually be able to provide that services on your platform without losing the customer, and the fintech being able to provide that service leveraging on you as the owner of the customer. And so it's a mutual benefit for both the fintech and the bank.
If we want to sustain value addition here, it means there have to be enough raw materials and production that we can do it. One farmer or one person cannot provide all the necessary raw materials, but when we aggregate them, it means there will be sustainability.
You know, it's tough for us when the commercial lender like Standard Bank comes in and says they're happy with the terms, and then development finance institutions come in and are adding more terms. And I know this is something that Standard Bank struggles with, but I do wonder whether there can be a bit more of senior leadership engagement at these institutions to kind of rectify some of these areas.
From where I sit, I would like our top leaders to look at our TAT on credit. Most of the time, we talk of 48 hours, and it is not true.
I think the other thing is just continuing to realize that we're a growing and evolving business. You know, we started off with solar home systems, we went into televisions, we went into refrigerators. Then in 2019, we pivoted to phones. We're getting into digital financial services. We're starting up our e-mobility business as well. Continuing to have that flexible mindset in terms of who we are for the company, I think is incredibly important. I think, again, Standard Bank has been a leader in that regard. I think the challenge is how can we continue to make sure that we have that really forward-looking, flexible thinking in the future as well is important.
You see, we also do competitor analysis. Looking to our competitors, when a client walks in today and they say they need a facility, there and then the client works with feedback. As our credit is centralized, unlike our competitors where the credit units are decentralized, where decisions are made there and then. And like for us here, you do the paper, you send to our credit. Then it takes another time for it to be communicated back.
They need to give us support in terms of, I'll still dwell on the digital space, because take an example of clients who dwell, mostly who deal with oil and gas. They most of the time have issues when doing transactions because they are not really into the digital space. Let them come to the ground, even help us onboard them and train them on how to go about it.
If the top 120 leaders can do things that touch the common man, so to speak, get them to grow, then you will be touching into the pulse of what a lot of the stakeholders that I meet around the country are talking about. How do we grow our country? How do we grow our economy? That's the one thing that a lot of people that I meet are talking about. Things are obviously tough, but that notwithstanding, how can we get into the pulse that when we do things, it makes a huge difference to the economic agenda that the country is driving? If we can get that right, we probably have solved one of our big issues about the main market.